I want to welcome all of you to the webinar today. Stand By Me began in 2007 because a campus principal had faith in the premise, the program, and in me. I welcome all of you today because I'm assuming that you too are ready to make that kind of decision. Like all good decisions, your choice must be based on data. And our data suggests that Stand By Me is easy to implement and maintain, takes hold quickly, and really does activate and empower students. It's more than inspirational messaging. It's a plan of action. The majority of children are neither victims nor bullies, but bystanders. They validate the bully simply by being present. They are the audience which gives power to the actor. Most of them are disturbed by the things they see, but afraid to act for multiple reasons. They end up feeling powerless, being silent witnesses in an ongoing drama. How do you change that dynamic and mobilize those children? Stand By Me has done just that. In 4 years, our student members, with a set of simple skills, made and documented over 4,000 interventions. One of our faculty sponsors commented, "I asked the students that if they did not have the training and were not a part of Stand By Me, would they have intervened and helped the victim? The overwhelming majority said no." Most programs rely on adults to stop bullying based on student report. This requires kids to tell teachers. For kids, this is a difficult job. They may be scared to tell. They may not want to be seen as tattlers. They are instructed that, in this instance, they are to tell anyway. They feel bad if they don't. If they do tell, they may be told it's not really bullying, it's just teasing. Consequences may not follow because the standard for bullying as an offense in public schools is high. Victims may end the process feeling more isolated and afraid of retaliation. Peers see what happens and doesn't when reports are made and learn to remain silent. Why don't kids report? This data was collected from a sample of 43 interviews with students wanting to join the program. The most frequently reported reason for not reporting was fear of becoming a target themselves. The second was not wanting to get hurt, and the third was not wanting to get in trouble. As one applicant put it, "It's like that little thing that they don't have the power to do." Existing programs do not incentivize anyone. They put victims in the position of reporting someone who might possibly be a friend. Bullies are not stereotypes. They can be good kids who do bad things. What choices do teachers currently have to stop bullying? Discipline, reprimand, and give consequences. But ultimately, they can't control kids. They don't know how to motivate them not to bully again. With current programs, we say, if someone is bullying you, tell a teacher. The pressure is all on the victim. If a student reports, where is the proof or evidence? What does a teacher do? They can only reprimand the things they see. If you start with the premise, find bullying and squash it, you are focused on the teacher punishing bullying and pressuring the victim to report with little incentive to do so. What is the likely outcome after that, even if there is a consequence? The bully is mad, the victim is exposed, and the teacher is not seen as an ally to anyone anymore. With Stand By Me, everyone gets to help and forget about the bully. It makes kids feel good. It motivates and empowers them. It empowers teachers to teach tangible skills to kids. It stops bullying at its inception, before the need to report. It provides immediate intervention. Stand By Me is an anti-bullying curriculum which teaches the individual to act, and it works. With a set of simple skills, students learn to realize bullying is happening and how to respond. Unlike most programs which try to catch the bully, Stand By Me makes the bully invisible and unimportant. It supports the victim, whether the victim reports or not, and creates a culture of heroism that allows kids to take action in the absence of adults, where most bullying occurs. Stand By Me respects the student's unique view of bullying. Students know what it is without being told. What adults consider teasing may profoundly impact students. The language heard from kids is surprising. Horrible, cruel, violent are words adults don't expect. Stand By Me supports the kids' point of view and addresses bullying as they experience it. It is their world, a world which adults don't see because they are seldom present when bullying happens. We can all play out bullying in our minds. One or more students surround a victim. Even in a crowded hallway, that victim is alone. Other students may see and hear, but they continue to go about their routine, nervously and many with sympathy. They are afraid, unsure, upset, but bound by uncertainty. No one else is doing anything. They keep going. Now imagine again that a student is being teased in a crowded hallway. Other students are trying to ignore it. They watch nervously as they open their lockers. It is a stage with actors and an audience. Then a student approaches the victim, ignoring everyone else, introduces him or herself, and offers to walk with that student. They walk away together. The audience disperses, relieved. The show is over. It is the bully who is now alone. The core tenet of Stand By Me is that it focuses on removing the victim. Bullies are frequently fueled by the power of the audience, as well as the isolation of the victim. Bystanders are frequently sympathetic and upset by what they see, but don't know what to do. They wait for someone else to do something. No one does. Stand By Me teaches students two strategies: stepping forward and standing back. Students are taught to either step forward and remove the victim while ignoring the bully, or to stand back and alert an adult if there is physical aggression or they are uncomfortable for any reason. We teach that the victim, not the bully, should get our attention. We support that victim with the power of our presence. Removing the victim removes the audience and the power it has to reinforce bullying behavior. After the incident is over, students then document their action by taking data. Data, in turn, is shared with administrators who can make decisions with student input. That decision-making results in change that can be seen by everyone. How can middle schoolers take data? This is a sample of the early data card. It was laminated to the back of their ID badges, and students were given red and green microdots to represent stepping forward and standing back. They would stick them at the location of each intervention. This was the data that was shared at the meetings. The other core principle of Stand By Me is that members do not name names. They do not turn in the bully, and are thus spared the dilemma of tattling and fear of retaliation. We are focused on the victim, not the bully. The victim always has the choice to report a name, but will have already been supported and validated in their experience. This slide illustrates a member's solution to being hit on the head and called a snitch. He designed a business card that clearly stated the Stand By Me core principles and handed it out as needed. Stand By Me simply removes the bully from the equation. This program treats bullies like everyone else. It recruits them and expects leadership. Bullies are not stereotypes. Bullies and victims are often the same person. This data is taken from a sample of 43 student interviews conducted with applicants wanting to join our program. 32 of the 43 students, or 74%, reported having been bullied. The nationwide percentage for 4th through 8th grades is 90% of kids. 9 of the 43 students, or 20%, reported having bullied others. 6, or almost 14% of the students, reported having been both victims and perpetrators. Many bullies are decent kids making bad choices or responding to peer pressure. Many may be natural leaders misusing their leadership skills because they have no avenue for expression. Stand By Me gives everyone something tangible to do. It provides an avenue to leadership that requires no special talents other than a commitment to act. It allows everyone involved to make positive choices. Stand By Me has been successfully tested in the public schools. During the 4 years of data collection, these are the findings. This graph represents interventions during the 4 years of the pilot program. As you can see, the stepped forward interventions are in orange and the stood back interventions in blue. Stand By Me was implemented on 3 campuses in 1 school district, although we struggled at grades 7 and 8 due to inconsistent faculty sponsorship. This number, as with all the data, has been reported very conservatively. For instance, in year 3, because the data was not separated into types of interventions, the data were not added to the total. Average participating membership numbers for those first 4 years averaged 71 students, giving you an idea of the kind of impact that number of students can have. This second graph represents the first year of the program in a new school district. Again, the stepped forward interventions are in orange and the stepped back are in blue. You can see that from the first month on campus, students are actively intervening, and that even with a small beginning membership, the intervention numbers are quite high. Although in May the intervention numbers dropped, this was in part due to the end-of-the-year activities and fewer meetings. What exactly does Stand By Me look like? How does it work? I'd like to take you through a brief overview of the program setup and implementation. I'll reference pages from your books for you to follow along. Stand By Me is easy to train. There are 3 major training components required in the program. The first is sponsor choice and training. This is found on page 19 in your books. Choosing a sponsor is one of the most critical decisions to be made, as a sponsor can make or break your program. The sponsor needs to be enthusiastic herself and will be responsible for maintaining the enthusiasm of the members. She will be the staff member who initiates the membership drive organizes the interviews, tracks membership, and helps the students collect and think about data. She will be responsible for training faculty and students. She will work with students in meetings, brainstorming solutions for the problems they encounter. She will liaison with parents and help pull in parent volunteers. All of the information necessary for the faculty sponsor to set up the program is contained in your book. Blank forms are downloadable from the Stand By Me website at https://standbymeforschools.com. The second training piece is staff training, which takes 20 to 30 minutes and can easily be done in a faculty meeting. You can find this section on page 21 with a faculty information sheet handout on page 23. Before introducing the program, campus faculty needs to be familiar with it, as they will be participating in the membership drive, the contest to choose a badge design, and with allowing movement of members in the cafeteria and other locations in order to perform interventions. They will also be giving out high five cards for community service. They need to understand that Stand By Me members do not report the names of bullies and that they should not press them to do so. The third training piece is student training, which takes 45 minutes to an hour. It is found on page 43 of your book. This includes teaching students which actions to take, either stepping forward or standing back. It includes role-playing possible solutions and the use of data cards. Student training takes place after the membership drive, interviews, and the sending out of acceptance letters. Introduction of the program begins with an assembly or class-by-class presentations to talk about a new bullying prevention program and the contest to design a school graphic to represent the program. This graphic or logo will be featured on ID badges worn by the students to designate membership, and it's voted on by the entire student body. These are samples of badge designs submitted by students over the years. Membership in the program is voluntary and designed to include as many students as possible. I'd like to briefly review the application form components found on page 30 to 36 of your books. Program information for parents and students is the first form. This contains general information about the program guidelines, structure, and training. The second form is the application itself. This is completed by the student. The third form is the recommendation. The most common mistake we've seen is students asking friends to write their letter. It must be an adult. If the student does not know someone, it's important to help the applicant find that willing adult. At school, it can be a favorite teacher or other staff member. The next form is parent permission to participate in the program. The next one is the parent permission to view website. Only faculty sponsors are allowed to post on the website and blog space. Students have view-only privileges. The last form is the badge design contest. This is the contest for the Stand By Me badge for that particular campus. Submission of a design is not required, and some students decide not to submit at all. This does not eliminate them from consideration. The form is laid out so that it can be folded in half and the design portion posted anonymously with other design entries so that it can be voted on by the entire student body. Once applications are received, students go through an interview process. Training truly begins with these two steps. The application requires time and commitment. It requires students to seek out an adult for a recommendation. The interview is set up much like a job interview. Adults sit opposite the student and ask questions. They require students to speak up, although they are very supportive of students as they do so. At the end of this process, there is a review of discipline referrals for each student. All applicants are accepted. However, those with disciplinary referrals are accepted under a provisional status. These students must remain free of discipline referrals for 6 weeks to be full members. It is only full members who can wear their badges and collect data. Provisional members can earn days off of that 6-week period through community service. All faculty members can award high-five cards for acts of kindness, helping tasks, and service to the school community. Each card is worth a day off of that 6-week provisional membership. Once all members are notified of their acceptance, students are trained by their faculty sponsor to help the victims of bullying while ignoring the bully. The sponsor should meet with the students to review with them the 2 types of interventions the program requires, as well as how the data cards and badges are to be used. Role plays are used to teach the application of those interventions. Throughout the training process, students are asked to stand up, and to speak so the group can hear and understand. They are always encouraged and praised for doing so. Students are trained to do 2 simple things: step forward or stand back. When a student steps forward, they are to go to the victim, introduce themselves, and walk with the victim to their destination. In the cafeteria, they offer to sit with the victim or invite the victim to sit at the member's table. If they are outside, they walk toward the nearest adult. When it's time to stand back, it's because there's fighting or they are uncomfortable for any reason. In that case, they are to stand back and go alert an adult. They are to report only what is happening and where. They wear program badges that double as hall passes and data collection cards to record interventions. Provisional members attend all meetings, but do not receive badges until they become full members. One of the things that makes Stand By Me stand out is that members collect data. As you will recall from our earlier slide, we designed data cards that could be laminated and worn as badges. Data cards are school-specific because they require school locations. For example, A Hall, B Hall, etc. We had the students use red and green microdots to indicate when they stepped forward, green, and when they stood back, red. The dots were put at the location on the card indicating where the intervention took place. Some sponsors chose to use vis-a-vis markers. Older students can use paper data sheets. There is no right way to do it. The only criteria is that it be easy, portable, and contain both type of intervention and location information. This slide contains another example of an elementary data card. This is a sample of a secondary data card. It is more complex because of the building layout and because it includes class periods. Adding class periods simply gives students and staff more data to use in targeting interventions. Once training is complete, students meet weekly with the faculty sponsor to pool their data, discuss questions and concerns, and to problem solve. Once the program is up and running, Faculty sponsors are asked to submit all data to the Stand By Me website via the data link. This will allow us to track successes and use information to continuously improve programming. Even after the recruiting drive, membership should be ongoing. The goal is to incorporate as many students as possible into the Stand By Me community. Ongoing recruiting can be a topic of discussion at meetings. Stand By Me story forms, also found in your book, should be available along with drop boxes at one or more designated locations on campus. This gives both members and victims who have been helped a chance to share their experiences. In addition to typical students, Stand By Me is supportive of and inclusive of students with disabilities. For students with social skills deficits, it takes the guesswork out of assessing a problem and knowing what to do. It provides, via student meetings, a way to constantly evaluate situations and one's individual response to them, so that social problem solving is ongoing. Steps for membership are concrete and accessible, and membership and acceptance are assured. For nonverbal students or students with limited verbal skills, a parent's biggest fear is that they are unable to talk about what happened at school. One speech-language pathologist reported to me that her #1 requested education plan goal from parents was being able to retell an event that happened at school. They will not know if their child can't tell. What can you do to address that in a typical program? What happens when no adult sees it? The Stand By Me support system sees it. Students who need support can be paired with Stand By Me members who walk them to class and sit with them at lunch. This is what one 5th grade student said when asked what strengths he could bring to the Stand By Me program. The courage in words, the following of actions, to teach, to be not what people think of you, but to be a leader, not a follower. Stand By Me relieves helplessness. It alleviates isolation. It empowers students and teachers to do simple, positive things. It supports victims immediately, eliminates reporting dilemmas, and welcomes both bullies and victims into an ongoing community. It requires no special talents and excludes no one. It gives all students equally opportunities for leadership, service, and support. Stand By Me works for kids. It excites kids. Standing up, helping, and doing inspire everyone. As you go back to your campuses, homes, and students, I hope you too feel empowered by what you've heard today. The forms and instructions in your book and on the website are easy to use and easily adapted for your campus. Stand By Me is designed to reflect the individuality of your campus. If students want t-shirts instead of badges or bracelets or any other signifier of membership, it is all the same, a visible sign of community. Simple steps to belonging. Those of you who are parents can take the program to your campus administrators and school board. Get involved with the membership drives, the interview process, and supporting ongoing meetings. Become engaged with your students in the discussion of their experiences. Assist with data submission and blog postings. Remember in all of your efforts that this is, at its heart, a student program. Students drive it, empowering themselves and each other. Our job is to give them the tools and the support they need to make that transformation a reality. Thank you.